Good to go. So, welcome back to the Blue Collar Society podcast. Today we have Josh of All Trades, and back to the normal
Insert
rambling.
applause.
And the feud
What was that?
continues. So,
All right, so
for
tell us-
our viewers, which is one,
Nathan.
let us know. Nathan, yeah, he's our only viewer. Tell a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, location, a little bit about you.
Yeah, for sure.
Mother's maiden
So
name.
I'm originally from Maryland. Came down to Northwest Florida 5 years ago to get away from the politics and the weather, and owned a remodeling business up there for 7 years, and started kind of flipping houses and getting into real estate. And so I ended up selling my half of that business to my business partner. I guess 7 years ago or so, and been flipping houses full time mostly since then. And moved down here, like I said, 5 years ago, and so now we've got an operation where we primarily flip houses, buy rental properties, and have some Airbnbs and stuff. For the time being, the real estate market right now is pretty crappy, so we're thinking about opening up a remodeling business again, just to diversify and have that extra branch of our company. But yeah, just general remodeling. We do a little bit of new construction, but it's mostly remodeling. And as the name says, we do it all. So we, ground up every aspect we can do. Not saying we're the best at every aspect, but we get it done. And it's a family business. So I got two of my brothers, three of my brother-in-laws work for our company, and then a couple other guys. But it's a lot of fun, man. We love it. We love what we do, and I'm not a Milwaukee guy. I know somebody's going to bring that up. So. No, but the truth is, look, I don't give a crap. Like me and Matt go back and forth, and me and Omar go back and forth. The truth is, I really don't care. I own a few Milwaukee things. Like it's fun to give each other a hard time, but none of us really cares.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No.
It's like by Roy Obi. Everybody knows we don't mess with Roy Obi. No.
That
You
I
don't
will-
say that.
Yeah.
You said the R word. No.
He's not
Yeah, you
welcome.
said the R word.
He's not welcome to Thanksgiving dinner. So,
we don't do that.
but so with
what do we say on the post? Like, if the adults are talking, go away.
Yeah.
How is that with everybody else around you? They just use whatever you got, or they all prefer their own tools too?
Yeah, so they've all pretty much adopted DeWalt, but primarily just because we all want to be able to share batteries, share tools. Like, if we got, 40 DeWalt batteries on a job site, that's a lot easier than having all these different chargers out and all, It's just continuity. And so,
in all reality, the money is.
What's that?
Yeah, I was saying, all reality, the money is where you have the battery, is in the batteries. Like, and that's the biggest thing is being able to swap your batteries, or you swap your batteries between your tools. But the tools, for the most part, are pretty cheap, unless you get into like a specialty tool. But it's the batteries that they get you. So, and once you're committed, you don't want to swap systems.
No, I tried to have a couple different platforms going. It's just such a hassle, and it's just. Unless DeWalt doesn't make that tool, I'm pretty much buying it in DeWalt. So, yeah.
Well, now with so you say you do a lot of real estate, purchase, flipping, obviously. How is the commercial real estate right now? Do you mess with that?
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't know because we don't really do any commercial stuff. The closest thing I've got to commercial is a 5-unit building that we're getting ready to Airbnb, but really it's not commercial. It's just a multi-unit. But I don't really get into commercial too much. I couldn't give you an educated, guess on that even.
Just because I'm seeing a lot about how, because of AI and how it's taking jobs, especially office jobs, away from companies, they don't need the real estate anymore, commercial real estate. Especially in New York. New York, you have, on my end, you can see Mondays and Fridays, nobody goes into the city.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's it. So all these high rises, all these offices, what do? You know, I mean, I know they have like 20-year leases, but still, you know, that's going to be the next, I think, problem when AI replaces all the non-essential people, essentially. You know, you don't have to be in an office.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of the companies have realized through COVID that they could, you know, that they can have people work from home, and so why have all this expensive real estate if you know 50% of your workforce can work from home? So, yeah, for sure. And what'll happen with all that commercial real estate? You know, who knows? Maybe they'll turn it into apartments for housing, or who knows? But yeah,
And just give it to the homeless.
That's wishful thinking.
Yeah,
Currently happen.
That would be solving problems, Donnie, and we don't do that.
Don't come with that positivity over here.
You got Amazon right now forcing people to come back to the work to the office spaces. They say if you're not working at least 3 days a week or something in the office, they're giving the people with the authority the green light to fire them.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon is kind of like I said, unless it's a secretarial job, I can see you being forced back because that's a huge logistic company. They're just building one like 30 minutes from my house. It is humongous. I will have afternoon shipping after they finish that thing. Literally, like that's how fast it's gonna be.
Oh, it's awesome.
Huge.
Same day delivery.
Oh, dude, it's bad. Like it's huge. So it creates more jobs, obviously, and you know, bumps up the neighborhood. But like I said, most of the Amazon jobs are hands-on. Although they are working on that robot. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Amazon's already experimented with drones delivering stuff. They literally had like a blimp where drones would fly out the bottom of it and deliver it. So
that's crazy. But now, how about the regular real estate? Like any slowdown? Anything on your end down there? I mean,
we finally just saw a slowdown. So I've got, you know, we were used to the last 5 years of stuff sells in like the first weekend you put it on the market, and I've got 2 houses right now that have been sitting for 2.5 months with no offers, you know, and so and they're, you know, they're in the mid 400 range, so not super high end, but not, you know, but not affordable to the sort of our median income. It's a little bit higher than the median right now with interest rates being so high. You know, people that could afford the 400, you know, can now afford the upper 200s with interest rates. So it sucks. So, but yeah, so, you know, whatever. I had a closing this afternoon, and so stuff still sells, just slower. And, yeah, so that's why we're looking at, you know, opening up the remodeling business again, as much as I don't want to. It's just there's such a need for it here. There's just everybody, you know, subcontractors are impossible to find here, which is why we do everything ourselves. And so you figure if subs are terrible, you know, I talk to people from church, people from, you know, friends, whatever, and they're all like, you know, do you know anybody to do this thing? And I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, you know, I really don't know a plumber here. You know, they don't pick up the phone. I know one electrician, but he doesn't do anything but repairs. And so it's kind of an untapped market. You know, everybody around here sucks. So we're just going to, you know, dominate. I think that's the goal.
How is the competition for you out there with finding those properties to turn into Airbnbs? And I ask you because there's a guy here in Charleston that I've been talking with, and he's looking into doing the same thing of what you're doing. And I asked him recently about how that whole process was coming, and he was like, dude, it's just so competitive right now. It's hard to get any of these things.
Charleston is not the place anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's
anymore. No.
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you're at. So, you know, we live like 20 minutes from the beach, and so being like in that, you know, in that area down by Destin 30A and all that, yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition down there for the Airbnb properties because, you know, they're high value. But to get your hands on one, you know, you're not getting one for less than 7 figures. So that's not really our market aside from the one that we have. We're mostly staying kind of out in the suburbs of those areas where it's a little more affordable and your average everyday person can afford to go and buy. And so we'll see how that, you know, the one we have is in Miramar Beach. the 5-unit one that we're remodeling now, and I'm not sure if we're going to put it up. We're planning on Airbnb-ing it, but if I decide it makes more sense to just sell it and make money that way, we may do that. I'm not sure. I really want to hold it, but I don't really know.
No,
That's
So
the
how
sounds
many
big
like that
flips
makes
have you done in
sense.
the past 5 years?
You got all the you got all the different exits with real estate. You can sell it, you can hold it, you can Airbnb it, you can do long-term rentals. There's all kinds of stuff, and it's hard to decide which is always the best once you acquire something. But I don't know, we're still figuring it out.
Did you ever go the route of renting them?
We do, yeah. We have
Airbnb, yeah.
Well, we have one right now. We only have one Airbnb that's up and running. We have the 5-unit Airbnb that we're renovating, so that's not up and running yet. And then we have 18 single-family homes that are long-term rentals.
No.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they're long-term, just regular year-long, 2-year leases, that kind of stuff.
How long did it take you to accumulate those properties?
So like our first year, we only bought one. So I guess about 5 years ago, we bought one, and then we bought like 3 or 4 the next year, 6 or 7 the next year, so just a little bit more each year. And I think we're going to slow down on that. I'm kind of looking at our portfolio, and it pays for itself, but it doesn't cash flow a ton of money. It's not like I'm not going to get rich off of these rentals, right? That's what people don't understand. It's more of a long-term wealth accumulating play than it is like I'm not gonna retire on these today. It's not making that much money,
All right.
So it's more like, hey, let these people pay off, and we'll make a couple $100 a month on each one, and let them pay off the mortgages and kind of be a retirement plan. So
yeah. Now, when you remodel these homes to flip, if you will, what is do you have a profit margin? Do you try to reach on this? Because I was curious. I get a very big range on this.
Yeah, we do, and kind of our thought is like we want to make a minimum of $35,000 on each one. It's not like a percentage thing. A lot of people are like, "What percentage of profit?" We don't really go off a percentage. I know that if it's a 90-day job, I need that crew to knock it out, and we need to make a minimum of 35 on it. But we've had them, we've had a couple, like we had one that did like 150K. We've had a few over 100 and some in the 50s and 75, so it's all over the place, but we just shoot for that minimum. If it's a average job, we need it to be a minimum of 35.
All right.
And I won't go into it for less than that because it's too much risk. Too much risk to get into for 20. What I've noticed is, your profit number can easily get eaten up when something bad happens, and we've had some bad things happen. So, we lost. In fact, this year is our first time we ever lost money on a deal. We lost $20,000 on it, and that's not a good feeling. And the other ones make up for it. It's not like it's putting me out, but it's not fun.
You still got the time invested in it.
It's still a loss.
Absolutely. It's a loss, and it just never feels good to have, to run into that kind of stuff. So
do you have a set or a goal time for your flips, or is every flip different?
Everyone is different. Our average is probably, 90 days.
Okay.
But obviously if you get a bigger one that's a full gut, it takes longer than that because we got small crews. Our crews are typically 2 to 3 guys. They do almost everything. So it's kind of, some of them are long. Like this 5-unit, is that we're working on now. We've been working on it all summer, and so we started that one in May or something, and we're not even at sheetrock yet. So.
So if you're looking at a 90-day average for these renovations, I mean, what does that usually typically look for you? Like new floors, new paint, or new drywall, new paint, new cabinets?
Yeah, so it's always paint, flooring, kitchen, bathrooms, usually a roof, and then like I don't know that I've ever done one where we didn't rearrange the walls, take out load-bearing walls, open things up. Usually we end up moving bathrooms around, move the kitchen around, rearrange the house. And so I wish we didn't do that because we'd be in and out a lot faster. But you know, we just kind of we have this bad habit of sort of doing it for like, okay, if I was living here, this is what I would want.
Yeah.
And
So I'm
that
take it you're
helps
working in
when you
older
sell it,
homes.
it eats at your profit, man, because doing too much can really set you back, you know.
So do you have like a target demographic of like type of like maybe like a family that you go for, or I mean I know each property is different as well, so it's like you can't really shoot for a big family of how do I say this? Too much house for not enough family, you know. So like how do you like target?
Yeah, so
single family homes or
yeah, we do. I mean, we target single families. We target not so much size of house, but we think about, you know, the like the average income of our area and what they can afford. So we try to be in that, you know, 300 to 450 range for the, you know, the retail price. And you know, we've done some that are significantly higher than that, but you got more risk in those because you don't know, you know, how long are they going to sit? Is the right buyer going to come along? If you get one that has, you know, we've done a few that were, you know, one that was on like 26 acres. It was like this 5,000 square foot house. It's kind of like, all right, is this going to be like, is there the buyer for this? And, and it, you know, it worked out great. We did well on that, but we try to not go with too much of that big wild stuff. We try to stick with those, you know, 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, something in what that will sell for 350 to 450 or so. And
Gotcha.
yeah. And now with the market changing, we're noticing that people can afford less and less. So we're probably going to be trying to shrink that down and get into the more starter entry homes, you know, for where more people can afford to buy it because it's, you know, interest rates are killing all that. So
that's a weird way to say you're gonna start building sheds.
I was gonna say
tiny homes.
Tiny homes. No tiny homes.
Yeah, tiny homes. Yeah, there's some people in our area that are doing really small ones, like, you know, 800 square feet or something. And yeah, I don't know, but they sell super fast. So I've never done one that small, but I think it would be pretty funny to try.
Yeah,
what do you do with the land?
Also hit a new market.
Sorry, that was 5 questions at once.
You would hit a new market by doing that too, because you're also gonna, you know, bring in these people that it's just a couple or it's just a dude and his buddy or whatever, you know.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the builders around here realize that, you know, we're near a couple of military bases, so, you know, a lot of the builders around here realize that, you know, military, they come in and out and they rent. And they have pretty decent income. They have pretty steady income. So a lot of the builders will build to rent. And so they build these small houses, you know, 1,000 square foot homes, and then they rent them all out instead of selling them. And they do really well that way. So,
are you by Herbert Field?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hurlburt, Eglin, Duke Field. Yeah, all those. Yeah.
Were you in South Florida?
Northwest
Florida.
Yeah,
like
kind of between Pensacola. Area. Yeah, Pensacola.
Oh, you're in Panhandle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the tiny homes would be a great market if you can find a sizable lot where you can put a ton of them. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be buying the one house to turn it, and there would be more like a lot. Kind of like an RV park.
Talking about a fancy trailer park. Yeah.
Exactly. Which essentially, that's what's coming up now. It's literally just that. It's like these
they
tiny
don't call
homes.
them, they call them villages. So that sounds a little more fancy. But
But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they usually park next to a Whole Foods too, don't they?
That's right. Yep. You got to have the community bonfire pit and all that. But
hippie circle.
Hippie circle.
That's right. People are doing it, and I don't know. I don't know much about it, but people are doing it. It seems kind of like it could be cool, but it also could be just sort of trendy and go away. So,
yeah.
I mean, the way things are going, and you know, a lot of people are not having kids. That's one of the things that's happening now too, is because they just can't afford it. So these tiny homes do seem like a good idea. Also, because now with like you said, remote working. You no longer have to have that giant house. You no longer have to have giant land. You're not going to host. More than likely, you're just going to hop on an airplane and go. Like it'll probably be cheaper and easier. So if you could afford a small house where you literally are just there to sleep, then I could see the not so much of a trend, but more like something to stay. You know?
Yep.
Like you said, military, something like that for a military guy, he doesn't have to spend a lot of money. He comes and goes when he pleases. You know.
Yep.
So I think it'll probably be more to stay rather than trendy. Because I even saw Elon Musk. What the hell is that company called? He was doing that with the houses.
Oh, like the fold out, like
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you drop them on site and they literally unbox into a house. It's already built and everything.
Well, and that's just like those container homes, you know.
Yeah.
Right. But it looks crazy because it was like the way you could attach things to it. You could literally attach a second floor, a balcony. It's almost like you can go there and sit there and like put all the accessories to this house. I don't know what happened to it because I know they were in like the investing stage, like trying to get investors in. But then I haven't seen anything since. But that's pretty much the same model. Just drop in place, walls go up, done.
Modular.
Omar, I wonder what happened to the house that folds. You get that hurricane, that thing just
go.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the other thing too. I mean, yeah, because these are in Florida, hurricane. How is the weather by you?
So it's great, and you know we're sort of in a weird little niche in the Gulf of Mexico where I'm not saying a hurricane couldn't hit here. The last hurricane that hit here was like 2000, early 2000s. So we don't get hurricanes here every year. They tend to, I don't know if it's like the weather patterns or whatever, they tend to either skip off to the right or to the left. And so we're sort of, I don't know, I'm not shielded, but I mean, we just don't seem to get them as much as like they do further east, especially. So not bad. We still have all the Miami-Dade, codes though. So our what they require for exteriors is just kind of ridiculous, but.
Now, how does that do with insurances? Do they still hit you for the hurricane, flood, and all that good stuff?
Most of our properties don't require flood insurance, but homeowners insurance in general is really high. So, like mine tripled this year. So it tapped on like another $900 a month to my mortgage, which sucks.
Ooh,
and that's happening. And that's happening throughout Florida. So, and it's because there's really not a lot of competition because insurance companies don't want to insure Florida.
Go to Florida.
So they're bailing out, and so the few that are left are like, well, whatever, we can charge whatever we want. So
because the last storm they had there put a few of them out of business.
Oh yeah,
literally, like they went out of business because all the claims came in at once, and obviously, insurance money is loaned money. It's borrowed money. It's not actual physical money.
We don't actually have this money.
They don't,
you guys were serious.
Well, it's just like your bank.
And that's the reason we do so much on the like roofs, for instance. If you can't prove that it's less than 10 years old, the insurance company will not insure you. Every house that we sell, we got to put a new roof on pretty much. And roofing here is expensive. So like, up in Maryland, I remember I could put a roof on a 1,500 square foot house for like $6,000. Here, a 1,500 square foot house is going to be like $15,000, and it's because they have to strip it down. You can't shingle over, and you have to re-nail all the roof decking, take photos of it with the nail pattern, and submit all that stuff to the inspector. And I don't know. I mean, that's a little extra hassle. I don't know why it's so expensive, but we got the cheapest roofer in town, and he's still crazy expensive. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, no, roofing. Roofing is it's a good market.
Yeah,
I mean, just out of curiosity,
had a roof put on my garage. I had a roof put on last week, and just the garage was $12,000. Like,
oh man! So just out of curiosity,
what do you got, a 4-car garage?
Why don't you
3-car?
Why not do your own roofing? Like it's just not you're not equipped for it with your crew, or?
Yeah, so we don't like it for one. I mean, nobody wants to roof in the summer.
Nobody likes roofing. Roofers don't like roofing. That's why they drink.
Yeah, that's right. So,
on the job.
We don't like it. It's hard on your body, and it's just not fun. So I'd rather just pay somebody to do it. And you have to have a separate roofing license here in Florida. It's not part of my regular contract. So I don't want to bother with it.
Now, how hard is it to get a contractor's license down there?
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a
goodness.
nightmare. So, up in Maryland, it was like a one book and one test. Here, it's a box of books that was like $1,500. I mean, it was like it's like 12 or 15 books, and then I had to take 2 4-hour tests and 1 8-hour test, and then I had to fly to Miami and sit in front of the board, and then I had to fly to Jacksonville and sit in front of the board a second time, and it was a nightmarish process compared to what I was used to, but we got it.
Boy, I bet they make some good money off of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a nightmare. And when I was there sitting in front of the board, I watched them fail guy after guy after guy going for it. And
wow,
that's crazy.
They don't mess around. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say about it. I just think if you got guys that are capable of doing these things and people that want to go out there and do this stuff, but when you're putting that restraint on them and making it that difficult for people, I mean, you're going to make them just say, all right, screw it. I'm not going to do it, or I'm just going to go do it illegally.
Yeah. And that's why we don't have, good subcontractors and other contractors in the area. It's just, they make it the entry level is just too high for so many people to get in to do, So
now how does that affect as far as, because like you said you might be opening a remodeling company, how does that affect pricing with a lot of people doing it off the books rather than on the books?
That's a good question. To be honest, I don't really know. I don't know of the guys that are doing it off the books. I'm sure there are. The guys that are doing it on the books are really expensive. So, like a buddy of mine wanted a small edition, like a 12 by 12 edition, like a sunroom put on the back of his house, and they wanted like $180,000 for that. And I'm like, dude, that's great. I can build a house for $180,000. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they're so, but so that's the other thing. Like I'm looking at it as like untapped potential. Not that I'm gonna, overcharge people, but if those are the kind of prices these people are charging, then it's an untapped, market for us to get into.
Did you say books for a contractor's license?
Yes.
Turn your background off.
Yeah, let me turn the background off. Show you. This is just for the limited residential in North Carolina. And this isn't even all of it. There's actually 20 books you can get information from, but these are really the important ones.
Mm-hmm. It looked like that stack.
And this doesn't even have the international build code.
Yep, it looks just like that stack is what I had to
And
get.
I think I paid $1,200.
Boy off the top.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. No. Yeah, I think I paid $1,200 for that stack, and that's not even all the.
Yep. So Carolina doesn't play either, then.
Yeah. It's not
North Carolina.
It's not. Yeah, North Carolina, South Carolina.
I don't think
that
bad.
Difficult. Yeah, North Carolina or South Carolina is not that difficult, honestly. There's a test, and that's it, really.
Yeah.
There's a fee on my end. Just pay a fee.
Really? Is it really?
Yeah, well, his is by county though. Like your license is by county. Mine's statewide.
Right. There is a New York State. Actually, I don't think there really is a New York State contractor's license per se. I know New York City has their own because that's a whole different scenario. But and I wouldn't want to do the city. If you want to talk about stringent regulations, the city's the place that has that. I mean, you can't use PEX, can't use PVC. It has to be cast iron, brass, or copper. Steel studs. Yeah, you can't. Well, it makes sense because if you're in a high rise,
lead pans.
Yeah. And you're supposed to use lead pans. You can't use rubber or foam. It has to be a lead pan.
Holy crap!
Because think about it, makes sense. First of all, you're going 60 stories high. The PSI rating is 800 on the burst PSI rating on PEX is 800 for water. You go up 60 floors, that's going to be way over that. I mean, like it's going to be an immense amount of pressure. Cast iron drains too is because if you think about it, you're dropping something from the 60th floor down. that thing is gonna go through that 40 schedule 40 like it's not.
That Taco Bell, that liquid napalm from Taco Bell is about to.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, friends that I have that do it, they're like, dude, it's crazy. And not only that, like think about it, like you have the freedom, right? We have the freedom. We pull up with a truck, a trailer. And I try to do that in New York City. You know.
Oh yeah, I was told limited times for the elevator, limited noise time. I was told that sometimes you only have 3 hours to make noise in a day. Oh no, that's a big no.
You're thinking too far ahead, man. You just gotta hope you can find parking, bro.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's gonna take a good portion of your
like for what's his name? Hydro New York City. He's a plumber in New York City, and for him to just change 2 shutoffs in the bathroom, he has to schedule a building shutdown and hope that he's able to do it within that time frame. Like he cut a pipe the wrong way, and like that's it. It's over. They have no water for the rest of the day.
My gosh!
Or if he's like, I'm changing the strap. I hope the lady on the 7th floor read the letter of do not flush anything down because I will catch all of it. You know, like it's that's why New York City never appealed to me. Like I worked for a company. It was actually a pretty big plumbing company. And all they did was New York City, and I didn't like the fact that like, yeah, just show up on site. I'm like, okay, I show up. I'm like, where am I parking? They're like, yeah, that's your problem. Figure it out. I'm like, I'm gonna catch a ticket. They're like, it doesn't matter. You got to figure out. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
$100 for parking. It's like I'm charging you $80 for this. No,
but yeah, no. So here, for us as counties, like I'm in Dutchess County. You have Patterson. Then you have different counties. Like there's actually a shit ton of counties. And each one requires differently. Like some will be like, if I want to pull a permit in my county, they're like, do you have liability insurance? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, you're good to go.
Yeah. So what's your financial restriction? Because I know in here it's by tier. Without a license, I'm limited to $30,000. With the limited residential, it's $700 to $50,000, I think. And then obviously if you go up and up, but they also, for you to qualify for that, you have to show like your income. You have to have a surety bond for a certain amount, and they got to like audit your finances to see that you do in fact make, you know, X amount of money and you have this much of capital. So we have to go through that, references, everything.
Now with the remodeling company that you're potentially starting, is it going to be like a dedicated crew for that? You know what I mean?
So probably what I'll do is pull one of my crews off of Flips and have them do the remodels, and then depending on how it goes, potentially another crew. So it just depends, I guess, on how quickly we sell work and how much we like it. I don't want to go crazy with it and sell, a year's worth of work and then realize that, and then have the market turn around and be like, hey, we shouldn't have sold all these jobs. We could have been flipping these houses, but
that
could have made this in 2 months.
I was gonna say that was my question. I mean, standard renovation, like a bathroom renovation, let's say. I know guys that are like, yeah, I could do it in 10 days. I'm like, an entire bathroom in 10 days, like soup to nuts. That's pretty fast. I'll give you that, but it takes time. You know what I mean? Every job is.
It depends, but because we do everything, we can do a bathroom in like 3 days. And now I'm talking like a standard hall bath, 5x8, nothing crazy. But, if I'm there 8 hours, 10 hours a day, because we do it all, we can have it ripped out and plumbing rough in, electrical roughed in one day, and then the next day we're patching drywall. And maybe not 3 days. I'm probably exaggerating, but certainly a week.
Yeah. I mean, the fastest, the fastest I've seen is, like I said, 10 days if you have dedicated crews. Like it's like one after the other. As soon as the demo guys are out, the plumbers are in. The plumbers out, sheetrock guys in. Sheetrock guys out, tile guys in. You know what I mean? Like if you have that kind of crew, then yeah. But having like, let's say, just 3 guys to do a bathroom, that's gonna take time away.
Plus, and when we were doing remodeling up in Maryland, we were subbing out plumbing, electrical, paint, so that stuff that eats up a ton of time when you're subbing all that stuff out. And so when you can go from one thing to the next, and your guys can do all of it, now the weakness is that my guys are not going to be the same level of tile quality than a dedicated tile guy would be that just lays tile all day, right? So, and that's why we stick with relatively simple tile designs and stuff. We don't get into we did back up in Maryland, we did some pretty wild tile designs, but we've gotten away from that since coming to Florida.
So you mentioned like having to sub stuff out and you guys doing the roughing and everything. What does that situation look like in your area? Because I know for me, if I'm hooking up a valve, I still have to get a licensed plumber. Like I legally am not allowed to do any type of plumbing work or electrical work unless it's my own house.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, so I'm not allowed to pull plumbing or electrical permits. I got to have a plumber or electrician pull those permits. Typically, if we're doing a job for a bathroom, I'm not pulling permits. But if we're doing something where we are pulling permits, I have a plumber electrician that will pull permits for me, and we'll still do the work. Because they, like my electrician, for instance, he's like, he wasn't so sure about it. We tried it on a job where we rewired a house, and he came in, he's like, dang, you guys do cleaner electrical than me. He's like, I'll sign off on all your electrical stuff.
Yeah.
And, so
you got to have that relationship.
Yeah, it's a relationship thing. It's trying to impress him on the first one and making sure he feels comfortable with you, doing work under his license. And, it's not ideal, but getting a plumbing and electrician's license here is a nightmare as well. And the only way to do it is for me to be a W-2 under a licensed plumber or electrician for 2 years. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to go work for a plumber or electrician for, 2 years each just to get a license. That's crazy.
Yeah. And you have to accumulate a certain amount of hours too within those 2 years.
Right. Now, is that transferable? Like if you're out of state and have all that, or do you have to actually work there for 2 years?
I don't know. That I'm not sure of.
That's a good question too. Yeah.
Because at one point I was going to move to Florida at one point. Like I literally, because New York is just, it's not turning out to be what it used to be. It's expensive. It's everybody's a contractor now,
right?
All overnight, because it's so loose on the restrictions. But everybody does. The quality of work is there. But I thought about going there, and but then I was asking, I was like, what's the process? I can get my plumber's license, electrical license, because I've pretty much done it all too.
Yeah.
From my understanding, Omar, from my plumber who was licensed up in New York a long time ago, if you had a license previously, then when you come at least to North Carolina, you just have to pass the test. Right. But if you go over there and you have no experience, you've never held a license, now you have to prove, did you in fact do this? That might be harder.
It's the same because, I was licensed in Maryland as a contractor. And so there's no reciprocity, but I didn't have to show, working for another contractor here. My license up there was sufficient. I still had to pass the test.
They still recognize it.
And prove my experience, right? So there's a lot of experience documentation that had to happen. But yeah, it may be the same for plumbing and electrical. I'm not sure.
We've got something similar here, at least for a contractor's license. It's called a NASCLA license. And what that allows me to do in North Carolina is I can take that and I will technically, I'm licensed in 13 states and 2 territories. I can be. So I take the test and all I have to do is I take the law portion for each state that I want to do work in. I don't have to take the trade and all the extra, stuff. Which I thought was a good idea because now if I ever travel, which I want to do some traveling, or I could pick up a job down in South Carolina, I got these two. It'd be amazing. But but I don't know. I don't know if that's the case with plumbing.
I don't know, but if you figure it out, come on down, man. Come be my plumber.
Trust me when I say
no, get your own plumber. Go away.
I would love to do that. I mean, Jeremiah seen me in action, so obviously. I was obsessed with plumbing right out of high school. Went to because it was my senior year. They were like, okay, so you've taken every single Regents test that you can take, except physics. So for the first 6 hours of the day, you're going to sit in the classroom and do nothing, and in the last 2, you have class. I was like, well, I'm going to get in trouble. I can promise you that. I was like, I need to do something with my time. They're like, well, we have technical training. You can become whatever you want. So at the time, I wanted auto mechanics because I was going to hook up the little rice can that I had going on. That didn't work.
The Civic
was the Civic.
Fast and Furious.
So they were taken, and then they're like, all right, you got electrical, plumbing, in carpentry. Now, my dad's a carpenter, and I remember him getting laid off every winter because obviously all the outside work is dried up. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I should have gone with electrical, but I didn't. I chose plumbing, and it was great. You walk in, and it was weird. Like the first day of class, we're sitting in a shop. There's no books. There's nothing. They're like, okay, today I'm going to show you how to cut pipe, how to manually thread pipe, which is a nightmare, by the way.
Yeah.
If you've ever done it. Like old school die, you know what I mean?
It's not that bad. You just oil it because we've got the little. You talking about the little wrench? Yeah, it's not that bad. Now, if you got to do it all day, every day, and multiple stuff, then it sucks.
Listen, I want to see you try to thread 2-inch pipe, and then we'll talk.
Okay, I will do that. I haven't done 2-inch.
Little pipe, no problem. 2-inch.
You got to gain a few pounds and thread that stuff.
Oh, dude. So, but it was great. Right out of high school, like I picked it up so fast. My teacher was like, "Listen, you can pass these tests with flying colors. Here's a phone number to a plumber in the my area. He needs a helper. Go work." He's like, "Don't worry about the grades. I'll make sure that you're good." So I already had a job. I went right into it. Started working as a helper, and at the time, I was making more money than a teacher that was going to teach me in college. So when I went to college for a semester, I was like, "What am I doing here? Like, I'm literally making more money than this person."
I know.
So I was like, all right.
It's so funny.
Watch your mouth. No.
Somebody just asked me the other day, they're like, "Are you ever mad you didn't finish college?" I'm like, "Are you kidding? I wish I didn't finish high school. I would have started working earlier." It's crazy.
So that's part of the reason too. Like I hope that I can teach my kids this stuff, at least the knowledge of it. You know what I mean? Like knowing the basics, because it's between all the trades, everything translates to one another. Basically, wise measurements, theories, and all that good stuff all kind of translate to each other.
For sure.
Obviously, the technical aspect of plumbing, electrical, and roofing, it's all. I mean, framing is completely different. But that's how I got into the trades. It was through having to make sure I don't stay in trouble in high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank God I did, and that's why, Florida was one of those things where I was like, I like the weather. I was born and raised in warm climate. Coming to the U.S. and dealing with coming to the U.S. It's horrible because it's like it was cold. I'm not used to the cold.
Still not went to Canada and New York. Shut up, my man.
I did.
You got a head cold just coming over here.
Dude, but I'm used to 65 year round, 70 highest, 50 the lowest, like maybe year round.
You think you're gonna get weather in Florida?
Oh, I don't mind Florida. I don't mind hot. That's
Oh,
the problem. I don't mind the hot. The heat, I'm okay with. I can always cool off. But you can never bundle enough. You can wear 20 layers. You're still going to be cold. I don't care what you do. And it just becomes uncomfortable. Like you're wearing this many layers trying to work. It's really uncomfortable.
Walking around like a damn penguin.
No, I've got good hunting gear.
Just turn the heat on.
So
I got good hunting gear, man. That stuff will warm you up quick.
So speaking of hunting, we go back to the rounds. You shoot that many rounds?
No, I don't shoot that many rounds. I need to. I need to get back on the range. No, I just, I just like to be prepared if shit hits the fan.
I'm just crazy. No, just like the rest of us.
So you remember that 3-car garage that was 4? It's 3 now.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not a prepper, but I got a bug out bag. I've got food rations and I've got ammunition and guns. And, I've got.
Say that garage cost me $280,000.
No.
Something underneath it.
It ain't that much. I should have made a safe room in the garage. What I should have done. But yeah, I mean, it's, I got it's. If it were just me, it'd be different, right? But I've got 4 kids and a wife, and I get it. Just like you're being financially responsible, I need to be responsible to take care of my family if something happens, and I don't think anything's going to happen. I don't expect it to happen, but
I don't think anybody does, but it doesn't hurt to prepare for it.
Right. I mean, how many funny stories do we hear on Instagram? Like, oh, they come to invade the U.S. and all you're going to find is grills and beer cans by the time they're done.
Oh, yeah.
And I've come, and also I'm coming from a spot where I've had a guy that tried to break through my door at 3 a.m. and up in Maryland, and it was great. I've got I'm standing right out inside the door and face to face with him 2 feet away. And I've got 2 pistols pointed at his face. I'm like, but if you come through this door, I'm going to kill you. And he did not care. He just punching and bloodied his fist up all over my door. And, you know, he was high out of his mind, thought he was at his girlfriend's house or something. But, you know, once you have an experience like that, it's like, nah, I'm going to be ready. You know what I mean? I'm going to
put it this way, man. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, man.
That's right.
No, I mean, that experience like that, yeah. I mean, do you have kids at the time?
I did, yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah, no, all
So,
laws and out the window.
Yeah, no, for sure. And up there, you know, there was no like if I could have killed him
stand your ground
if he had come through the door, but if he's outside the property, he hasn't made his way to the house. I can't touch him. You know, here
he's got to be inside the door.
He's got to come in the door for you to kill him. You know, so
he's like here. If I see him down the street, no.
That's right. If he is on my property and I ask him to leave, that's all you need, you know. So
who you calling a bit? No.
Yeah. So.
See, like in New York, it's different. Because of the SAFE Act, after the whole, you know, the school shootings and whatnot, they changed it. Now it's you have to barricade yourself in the smallest room in the house, and only when they try to break that door are you allowed to use deadly force.
That's crazy.
That's so insane. Yeah, that's so insane, man.
That's literally the law,
man.
So
you
I mean,
can protect yourself.
Kill him and drag him into that room and get in the closet.
So I
like,
told my wife, I said, in the event that happens, hopefully it never does. I'm like, listen, you call 911. You say, I'm a female. I got 3 daughters. I'm ready to protect my family. You guys better get here fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
No, we talked about that. You're like, it's illegal to shoot somebody unless you're in the smallest room. I was like, it's also illegal to break into someone's house. But we're past that phase. It's like we're both going to be felons here.
You know, and that's crazy that you actually experienced that. But yeah, no, being prepared is good. I mean, Florida is pretty easier to do that preparedness wise, since what they passed. You don't need what's that law?
Constitutional carry.
Yes, constitutional carry.
Yep.
Which is pretty wild. Must be nice. So we're not going to see any more videos of the guy carrying the AR at the beach. Come on, man. Those are cool.
What was his name? I know who you're talking about, dude. The fisherman. The guy that goes fishing with his rifle.
The law says you can.
You ain't going to catch me doing that. I'm not looking for trouble, but
No.
Well, that was his version of like a open carry Texas, where he was kind of proving like this is kind of absurd that we have to go to these measures to carry something. We're just simply asking to carry, you know, like a small pistol or a firearm with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, if you're walking down, especially in today's climate, you're walking down the beach with an AR strapped to your back, people kind of get freaked out, even if you had a fishing pole. But
yeah, it's not a good look.
That being said, they're not going to say anything directly to him.
I think anywhere you go, like, even though you could be like, let's say Texas, or you could be anywhere where, like, you know, it's gun country, people still feel kind of like, they feel a little bit weird once they see somebody with a gun, regardless of the case. It's just because of the climate and everything we've been through. People are still kind of like shooken up. You know, like,
not necessarily in our town.
I'm not sure about open carry. I know that, you know, I don't think it's wise to open carry anyway. Like I don't want to be perceived as a threat, right? So if there's a bad guy that comes into a convenience store while I'm there, I don't want him knowing that I'm carrying, right?
Yeah.
So
you're going to be the first target.
Yeah, it's not smart anyway, you know? So
it makes no sense.
Well, and here's, I guess, a good example for that. So in North Carolina, the legal age to own a pistol is 18 years old. The legal age to buy a pistol from an FFL is 21. So private purchase is still legal in North Carolina, and that's the route that I ended up going through. But you can't get, no matter what, even if you try to apply, you can't get a concealed carry license until you're 21. So it kind of became the situation. It's like I'm kind of obligated to, if I'm going to carry, to open carry. But I do think if the point is to kind of stay protected and discreet about it. And like I said, if you're announcing that you have it, then you're going to be the first person that gets shot when something goes down. And they're like, all right, now everybody put your hands up. You know?
Now that the threat is out of the way.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of pistol you got? If you don't mind.
Boy.
My everyday carry is a Glock 19.
It's like the one I lost in that boating accident.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my everyday now. I used to carry an XD, a Springfield XD, and then I have another Springfield, and I have a Ruger 45, and I have and I just ordered. Then I have an AR pistol that I built, which it's a rifle, but it's a 16-inch. It might be shorter than that. It might be a 9-inch.
Jesus.
And I just ordered 2 more. I ordered another AR and a PC charger, so looking forward to those coming in, and a couple other rifles, but nothing crazy. But
Now,
Is that something that you do in your spare time, like your free time, is build guns?
No, not really. I just built that one. I really I bought the lower receiver back when they were saying that you're not going to be able to get ARs anymore, so you might as well get some guy at a gun store kind of sold me the fear, and so I bought the lower when I was buying another pistol, and
it's like I bought a pallet of 80% lowers.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, my brother-in-law does the non-registered ones where he drills them out and all that.
Oh, the milling.
Yeah, those are 80% lowers.
Yep. So he had a few of those, and they're
paperweights.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they're, paperweights.
Takes them to get Cerakoted.
Now, which one do you like between the Glock and the
I can't stand the Glock.
The Springfield.
It's funny. I love the Springfields, but
which Springfield do you have?
I have the XDS, which is the compact version, and I have the XD, the full size. And I love those guns, and that's what I carried as my concealed carry for a long time. And I hated on Glocks for a long time. I'm like, that is the ugliest piece of crap. My brother-in-law is in the FBI. He let me shoot his FBI issued Glock one time at the range, and I was more accurate with that than any of my guns. And I'm like, daggone, I guess I need to get a Glock then. And so it's been great. And I had it because it looked so stupid out of the box. So I had stipple grip put on, and I did some stuff, milled it out so it looked a little less stupid. But
it still looks like a block, though.
It still looks like
that's the only thing. It's too bulky. And like getting the one in 45, dude, because I'm a 45 guy, man. But they handed me that thing, and I'm like, I might as well throw it at them. Like, this is a club. So
yes, I settled for the blocky unless you mill. You have the slide milled, and you do something with the grip. But yes,
at that point, buy a nicer gun.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd love to get like a Terran Tactical, something like a Combat Master or something, or an STI. I really love those, but I'm not. I don't know. A $2,000 pistol is just not something I'm going to invest in right now, but maybe one day.
Yeah, what I ended up settling on, because I don't like Glocks, was the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. Yep. It was between that and the SIG P365. But the issue I had with the P365 is I put it right in my hand, and I closed my hand, right? And I had to overextend my thumb to hit the mag release versus the Hellcat. Everything fell into place. And I'm like, that's honestly matters to me more. Yep. I know it's a SIG and all, but if that little bit of overextending, that's precious time.
No, I'm with you. My brother-in-law has both those guns, and the 365 is just way too small for my hands. He loves it. That's his carry gun, the 365, but it's so tiny.
Oh, does he have the subcompact one or the compact?
It's the.
Does your pinky hang off of it?
Mine does, yeah. He's got the extended mag, but it's still small. So I don't know.
That was another thing I didn't like either. Like the Hellcat, I got the compact because I don't like when my pinky's not on the grip, and I don't want to have to rely on the magazine because I'm going to pinch myself in that thing.
You mean you're not trying to be fancy?
No, I really can't stand when my pinky is not on it. So I have to be able to remove the magazine and still have it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I stopped carrying the XDS. The XDS has a short grip, and I just it's great because it doesn't print when you concealed carry it, but I just can't be accurate with the thing. So
yeah, no. See, I have the LC9, which is the compact version of the Rugers. And that's the problem I have is the pinky. I have the mag extender, but my thumb
Oh,
keeps hitting the
still.
mag release every time I pull the trigger. So I was dropping the mags after every shot.
That's
So it was it's a
Mag
nice
clip.
gun. Literally, it fits in the palm of your hands. It's like so
Oh, yeah.
tiny, you won't even know. But
a buddy of mine from church carries that, and he puts it in his pocket.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so tiny, dude. But like,
I think that's.
but the problem is the shooting. Like
That's
you said,
insane.
now I have to. My pinky is actually under the magazine by the time I'm holding this thing, and I'm like, okay, that's why I was looking into Glocks and even the XD models, because I was like, this is I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Your buddy trying to be like Plexico Burris and shoot himself in the foot.
Shoot himself in the leg.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Oh
Goodness
man,
gracious.
you just
Yeah, it's
reminded me of
great.
that guy.
So funny.
But that's great. Yeah, no, that's good. And then obviously you saw the abomination that we have to carry here for ARs.
Hey, but at least you got him, man. It doesn't matter.
In the
I mean, he
AKs,
pulled
we're not
that thing out.
allowed.
I'm like, what is this?
That is a wild looking stock for sure. But hey, if it's comfortable and it works for you and you can shoot it accurately, you know.
It's believe it or not, it's comfortable because it's set to
No, it's
exactly what well for you.
Don't
For
lie.
me, it's perfect. For me, it's perfect. And you know, it's got the
Yeah.
3-point sling. It comes with everything. The only
the
thing
big
I had
ones
to do
hurt,
is
Omar.
get I had to get the extended magazine release because now with that grip being so far back, my pointer wasn't even reaching. So I had to get the extended mag release for that. But hey, listen, it works. I get to shoot it every once in a while, make a nice big fireball since I can't put a tip on it.
Yeah.
Dude, they had to cut the bayonet
threads
lug.
off?
No, the bayonet lug. So you couldn't mount the
Really?
bayonet on it. They had to literally like shave it off.
Jeez.
Oh,
He's like, yeah, we'll give you the gun tomorrow. He's like, we have to thread this cap on and we have to cut the bayonet lug. I'm like, when am I ever gonna mount a bayonet? This isn't like the British time.
bro.
Omar gets home. Hand me that
They're
MIG gun.
A giant sized bayonet. So we're not allowed to have any of that.
The point of me having this is so I don't have to get that close.
Yeah, exactly.
You're probably not allowed to own a spear either then.
Told you he's got a high capacity slingshot.
No, I think that's legal. I know flamethrowers are in New York. So ironically enough,
Oh, I could buy that at the pawn shop. They got
You
power.
can- you can buy it. You can buy that. You can also buy the.
I think they
what
got
is
some
that?
at Lowe's.
What's that? Keltec?
Oh no,
shotgun?
I know what you're talking about. The flame weeders, the shotgun. What, Dragon's Breath?
No. The Keltec, the double barrel.
Oh, I know what you're
pump
talking
action
about.
shotgun. You could buy that here, but you can't buy an AR. So the amount of carnage you can do with that thing versus an actual AR I've never understood that logic. Like,
Well, it's like,
the availability.
The reason
A
behind
shot-
it is because of the name of it. They say assault rifle. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Ah," they lose their
No, it's
mind.
Armalite.
Right. Yes.
No,
But
the
it's
thing
like
is,
same
they've
up in
already.
Canada, you know. Up in Canada, like I don't know if you guys, any of you follow Tip Top Exteriors, but he's a buddy of mine up in Canada. He was sending me videos yesterday or a couple days ago about what they're allowed to have, and basically they're like, we're not allowed to have AR-15s, but basically he showed me videos of all the guns he's got, and it's an AR, but it has a side charging handle instead of a top charging handle, and they're allowed to have it because it's a side charge. I'm like, bro,
Oh
Yeah.
that's
See,
their
here
like,
too. I forget which Troy makes this one. It's an AR pump action. Then you're allowed to have whatever you want in New York, but you have to.
I've never seen an AR pump action. That's crazy.
It's crazy because it's like it's a foldable stock, obviously, because now you don't need a buffer tube.
Right.
But it's literally like charging handle is part of the shroud.
Sounds like
It's actually
fun,
quite
honestly.
It's quite comfortable actually, and I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? But they're like, okay, you can have whatever you want on that, extended magazines, pistol grip, whatever you want, because
Wow.
it's pump action.
That's
Yeah.
so
Meanwhile, down the road, the gun store's like, yeah, we got a 12 gauge in an AR platform, and it comes with
Yeah.
a 30 round mag.
And you can own that exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying,
a
the
30
logic
round mag
behind
with slugs.
it. You can use a Keltec or a UTG double feed tube shotgun, but you can't have an AR.
Yeah.
Like,
Which it's just
okay.
funny because they've already proven that a shotgun can kill anything in North America. All an AR is a glorified 22 moving really fast.
Yeah.
But-
Which doesn't, I mean, for wartime right now, 22s, what does it do? It'll
Have you
hurt
ever
you,
put-
but
Have any of you ever put 223 through your 5.56 AR?
yes.
because I've never done that. I didn't
Yeah.
like. I'm kind of. I know a
If
lot
you-
of people do.
Yeah, if you have a 5.56 barrel, you can shoot 5.56 and 2.23. If you have
Right.
2.23, if you have a 2.23 wild barrel, you can shoot 2.23 wild, 5.56 and 2.23.
Right, and I just didn't. I've never done it. I've just heard people do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I wonder
No,
if
they're all interchangeable.
Yeah.
So I believe 5.56 is a little hotter on the charge than 2.23.
Yeah.
But for me, I buy like the cheap rounds, and I used to load some 5.56, and I would just go with it was all for range. It was 100 yards, so I just load with the least amount of powder.
Yeah.
To get by. But yeah, you can run 5.56 and 2.23. You just can't run 5.56 through a 2.23 barrel.
Yeah, you can't do
Or at
that.
least you shouldn't.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You run
can
the
get
chance.
the conversion kit for your 5.56 or 2.23. You change out the bolt carrier. There's an adapter for the magazine, and you can shoot 22 long rifle through any 5.56 or 2.23 barrel
Oh, that's
on an
pretty
AR
wild.
platform.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
something like
I know
200
that it
bucks.
has to do. I know it has to do with it, like, because I went in a rabbit hole with that. It has to do with the charge, because the potential of you having, like, let's say a squib load or something with that amount of charge behind it, it's going to be bad. So,
Yeah.
But I think that the actual bullet size doesn't even change between 5.56 and 2.23. It's
Nope.
the charge. It's the amount of
So that's
charge
what I
they
was
put in
thinking,
per shot.
For training my sons, maybe putting 2.23 for them just to get them, something a little less heavy for them. But
Yeah. I don't find a difference. I've shot both, and like it's louder. Like that, as far as like the recoil it's an AR. You're not gonna feel the recoil. I mean, you could probably for training purposes, you could probably get a AR 9mm.
Yeah,
It's a better option.
Well, that's like the PC charger I just ordered is a 9mm platform, and I'll
Gonna
build
blow
it out
someone's
like
lung
an
out with
AR.
that.
Well, I'll build it out like an AR, so it'll get a stock. It'll get all this, everything that I would have put on an AR. It'll just be shorter.
Yeah, it's just that's just to familiarize yourself with the platform and how it feels, how it runs.
Right.
The shooting itself, like it's not.
And you don't think that a 9mm would have? Honestly, I think you'd be better off with the 2.23 because it's a much lighter. It's a 55 grain round. What's the average for? The average for 45 is 230. I don't know what the average for 9 is.
Yeah, no, but that's I know for training purposes, like if you want something. Yeah. So it's a lot less. It's easier to find 9mm, like especially in my area. Yeah, it's cheaper for sure. Here to get any kind of ammo, you're limited 1 box per purchase.
That's why I load. No.
Yo, guys.
You gotta go.
Yeah, time's up for me.
All right.
Josh, it's good to meet you, man. Fun talking.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Likewise, good to see you.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's why I buy a brick of primers. Okay. Yeah, we're about to add an hour anyway, but it was good talking with you.
Yeah, man. Sure. Appreciate coming by.
Sorry if we talked guns the whole time. I don't know if that was the intent.
Yeah.
It always takes a weird path. Wherever it goes, we just follow it. There's no agenda here.
Just go back and watch the episode with Nathan. You'll see.
Oh god.
Sometimes they just go their own route.
Did it get weird?
Oh no, it was
weird.
It was Nathan's podcast and we were just in
it. No, he's a great guy though, but it's like he puts you in a rabbit hole, and inside that rabbit hole there's about 2 other rabbit holes, and you got to pick which one you go down it. And I mean, it was a great conversation, but it's just we didn't have enough time to digest all the information that was being put out there.
And so, Nathan, who are we talking about here? Nathan who? What's his
Jeffrey Vision Tile and Stone.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know
great
anybody.
Guy.
But like, unless their name is in their like handle, I don't know anybody's names. I'm terrible at that. So.
It's so bad. It's gotten to that point. That's like, yeah, it's bad.
But anyway, we're not going to hold you up for too much longer. Thank you for coming on. And
appreciate you guys. It's good to see you all.
We'll look forward to having you on later.
Sure.
Yep, sounds good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
All right, you have a good one.
Take care. All right.